So we'll be installing the PR fuel regulator on this car due to the fact that the stock one, the top hat cracks. It's a common issue on all E90X platforms. Um, in order to do that on the E92, you have to remove this seat and that seat cover, which you just pull up on. I'll show you all in the video. On this side is the fuel pump. On that side is the stock fuel regulator, and you have to take both out in order to feed the line that comes from the fuel pump to the stock regulator, which I'll show you throughout the video. So straight out the box, you get a few connectors. These are going to connect to the stock fuel pump as well as this one. This is going to be the vent for the top one. Here's the float connector, quick disconnect for the fuel line coming from the engine. A vacuum regulator if you want to run it 1-to-1. On the back, you have the floats. The polarity does not matter. Fittings for these hoses, and inside of this, you have a micron filter. I can actually open the video. It is a twist. Very easy. O-ringed, and here's the micron filter. Let's install it. Alright, so we're gonna take a look inside. So what you have to do is just pull up on the seats right here. Once you pull up on them, they kind of snake out pretty easy. Don't forget these tabs on the back side. That's what gets caught up on the seat. After you pull them up, you flip this cap over, and you're gonna need a 10mm to pull the top hat bolts out on both sides. Let me knock that out and give you all a look. Before you get too deep into the install, if it looks like this, make sure you clean it, because all this will fall into your actual fuel pump. And then once you get to this part, after you clean it, use a tool like this, and it'll latch onto the top. Spin it off, and you get that ring off. Now, if you don't have this tool, you can just use a flat tip and a hammer, which someone has already done. And that's okay. Just make sure you be very careful not to nick these off, because then it becomes very hard to get it off, which looks like I'm probably going to have to use a hammer, because these are already damaged pretty good. Yeah. And this is the side that usually leaks out. There you go. So if you ever get like a crazy fuel smell inside of the cabin, it's likely because this top hat is cracked. You probably can't even see the cracks in it, but it's got a pretty nasty leak. It's been leaking for a while. So this one has not been opened. This is OEM, but this is already a PR, a fuel line, upgraded fuel line. It'll work just fine with the new hat, which is actually made for with this quick connect right here. So yep. If you ever smell fuel in your cabin, it's probably 95% the top hat. They dry rot, and over time they just leak. Once you got the ring off, I'm gonna clean it up. You just lift up on this. There's a keyway on there. You lift it up and go into the new pump. You're gonna have to remove this, which is the float. It's gonna connect to the new pump. You just cut these off and wire clamp it onto the new one. I'll show you all throughout the video. But the hose we're looking for is actually on the other side of the tank. So once you disconnect the hose that connects over here, which is this brown hose right here, and that black hose, those are going to be replaced with the new lines in the PR kit. But this you definitely need for the new pump. This. And this up, you can see like there's cracks developing in this one as well. So the other 5% I was saying with the 95% is probably coming from the passenger side. You can see right here, right here, right here, a little bit developing right here. But yeah. So on the stock pump, I actually had to break this because it was in there so long it didn't want to give. So I had to actually snap this off, which is fine because the new one has its own billet piece made right here. So this is the float right here. Make sure you don't bend that arm. You'll get like weird tank readings. These two wires are going to tap into these two wires right here. Again, polarity doesn't matter. And these are crimps, so once you crimp them, they'll be good. And then on this side, you have to remove this, which is the venturi holder, which sits right here. Again, I had to, well, I didn't have to, but if you put a flat tip in here, pretty well to squeeze this. And once this spring is squeezed right here, you can pull it right out. And then now we're going to remove the venturi. Well, not really the venturi, but remove this piece right here for the venturi for the saddle, because it's a saddleback, well, saddle fuel system. You remove it here, and once it's removed again, you put a flat tip in here, pop it out. You're gonna put the new one on, which is somewhere over here. Oh, right here, I'm sorry. And this is gonna push right into here, and this is gonna be the only thing connected. So once you disconnect here, you're gonna plug here, and then those two lines that you have in the kit, instead of running off of this, there's gonna be one hose that runs there, and then these two hoses are gonna connect here, which you can zip tie, which I would advise you to zip tie them all together. And you'll have 3 running on the other side, but just one will be running from here. So I'll let you know when I'm done. When you're connecting these hoses, they're actually keyed, so you can't put them on the wrong way. If you look at the openings, they're different. This side right here is going to go to the fuel pump. This side is going to go on there. And when you're putting these on, I already did, but make sure you lube up the O-ring in there so you don't gall it up, because they'll bust. The O-rings will bust in there. You have to replace this whole fitting. So I always put a little lube in there, or a little bit of lube on here, and let it slide on really easy. It's the finished product. All zip tied up. Everything's good to go. Put a little grease on these too. Not grease, but like a semi-lube. And you're good to go. And when you're snaking this in, make sure you put the float in first. You do not want to bend this, because if you bend this, you'll get all kinds of wonky readings. So let's go install it. Alright, so everything's back together. This is what everything looks like when it's all connected. Just got to connect the level right here. Put the top hat back on with the 4 screws, the 4 10mm screws. Pop the seats back on, start it up, and see how everything's running. I'm just gonna go for a ride. Make sure everything's reading right. Make sure everything is good. And yep. So everything looks good. CD919, so it is a 93 car with upgraded twins. We'll see. Everything's looking good. Everything is looking good, and the fuel smell is completely gone. So that is a job complete. Okay, that wraps this up. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you want to get stuff installed, let me know as well. You have a good one.